Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. More videos surface of police brutality in Pakistan. Journalists arrested in Burma for reporting on rebels. Female prisoner killed in Indian prison. Colluding with government, Nepal police arrest senior officer. No protection for Indonesian human rights defenders. 3 urgent appeals from Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I'm Annie Lin. This week, Just Asia begins with Pakistan, where police brutality and violence continues. Law enforcement officials regularly transcend their authority and abuse ordinary citizens with a complete lack of accountability. A recent video has surfaced of police officers' baton charging a group of unarmed women mill workers in Muzaffargarh, Punjab. Although the scuffle occurred inside the district court of Muzaffargarh in broad daylight, the judicial officer took no action against the erring police officers. None of the officers were suspended for abusing their authority. Another video shows the mother of a young man killed in a police encounter being brutally handled by the police. The mother is not even allowed to see the face of her son. This incident was reported on June 30th in Punjab. No action has been taken against the police officials. The Lahore incident of Model Town of June 2014 is yet another instance of police excess that remained under investigation for quite some time, without a single officer reprimanded or punished until today. Police officers opened fire, killing unarmed protesters, and the families had to undergo enormous struggle to get the post-mortem report to prove that the fatal injuries were caused due to police action. Next, 3 journalists have been arrested in Burma after watching a rebel group, the Tang National Liberation Army (TNLA), burn drugs in Shan state. After their arrest on June 26, the journalists were charged under the colonial-era Unlawful Associations Act for alleged contact with rebel groups. This has caused local outrage since many journalists have met with TNLA rebels without prosecution, and the group came into direct contact with reporters and officials at peace talks in May in the country's capital. The charges could lead to 3-year sentences for the journalists, with the first court hearing on July 11. The arrests are worrying amidst an increasing climate of suppression of speech. Since Aung San Suu Kyi formed her government in April 2016, freedom of expression has taken a hit in Burma. Most common have been charges of online defamation for articles and Facebook posts about the civilian government or military. Moving to India, the recent death of a woman prisoner in Mumbai is drawing attention to poor prison conditions in the country. On June 23rd, Manjula Shetty, a 45-year-old female prisoner in Mumbai's Byculla jail, was found dead. According to the reports, Shetty complained about shortage of food to the jail staff, resulting in an altercation and allegedly her torture, rape and murder by jail officials. While 6 prison officials have been arrested and remanded in police custody, it is not yet clear who killed Shetty. After her death, there was rioting by some 300 female inmates, including high-profile prisoner Indrani Mukherjee, which led to much media attention on the case. The important issues, however, are Shetty's custodial death and the abysmal prison conditions in which prisoners are forced to live. Overcrowding is a huge issue related to the large number of undertrials and India's broken criminal justice system. It is hoped that while the case is still developing, Shetty's murder can lead to some much-needed prison reforms. In Nepal, the extent of abuse of power and politicization within the police is such that even senior police officers are maltreated. On 24 April 2017, a team of police officers arrested Mr. Nawal Raj Silwal, Director of Central Investigation Bureau (CIB), from his lawyer's residence. Silwal was in consultation with his lawyer regarding his case, challenging the government's appointment of the police chief. Silwal was kicked and pushed into the police vehicle and taken to the police headquarters, where he was detained without food or water for a day. To support the government's decision to appoint its own police chief and to show Silwell as unfit for the job, the government and the police have fabricated charges against Silwell. The government also used the media to run a maligning campaign against Silwell. Silwell's case highlights the deep rot and politicization that has set into the Nepal police. It also underlines how the police and government fabricate documents to support their actions. Moving to Indonesia, human rights defenders continue to be at risk for their work, with no government policy or regulation regarding their protection. Even after 18 years of political reform since the resignation of Suharto, human rights defenders are not formally recognized by the government. The parliament is reluctant to take up the bill on human rights defenders' protection. Indonesia has seen numerous cases of murder and persecution of human rights activists, and the trend continues due to a lack of prosecution and punishment for the perpetrators. It is unfortunate that in most cases, the police are either on the side of the perpetrators or they take little action to protect the activists. Most recently, there was an acid attack against anti-corruption activist Sukma Hidayat and a brutal attack against environmental activist Arifin Wadianto. In both cases, the perpetrators have yet to be held to account. Earlier, Mr. Jobi Pirangkinangin, another environmental activist, was killed by Navy personnel, and the responsible officers were given only light punishment. Mr. Salim Kansil, a land rights activist, was killed by thugs. Such cases involving human rights defenders are treated as ordinary crimes without the application of high standards of law or fair trial. Meanwhile, the initiative taken by the National Commission on Human Rights to establish a human rights defenders desk has yet to effectively contribute to protecting defenders. Finally, the Urgent Appeals Weekly features 3 cases from Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. In Bangladesh, renowned poet, columnist, and political analyst Mr. Farhad Mirza was taken away by unidentified persons on July 3rd after participating in a conference condemning lynchings of Muslims by cow vigilantes in India. The police and Rapid Action Battalion are attempting to trace him. In Sri Lanka, a woman was raped by a police sergeant. After she lodged a complaint, without any further investigation, the police filed charges of illegal trespass, intimidation, and sexual harassment against their colleague, but left out the crime of rape. Also in Sri Lanka, a prisoner in Bogambara prison is being continuously tortured and treated inhumanely by prison officials. Although he has complained on several occasions regarding the violations of his fundamental rights, the complaints were suppressed by senior prison authorities. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on these and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.alrc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.